You ruined the best part of the story.
Actually, I was the one who brought up the whole. Actually, I'm the one who brought up the whole subject of the best part of the story. If I might add, Willie. Do you remember who brought that topic up? Darren, who was it that brought that topic up about the notebook?
You did.
Oh, we didn't know right. About I did. Oh, that's right. And nobody else knew about it, did you? So
you brought the topic up so that you can interject yourself into the fucking story. The man got right down to the end where he was going to meet up with the old lady, and you said, Wolfman, quote, "Wait, stop, shut the fuck up. How did you feel?" Literally, you were asking. It was like on a fucking movie with Dolly Parton when they're sitting there with their legs spread and they put the mirrors in and they're looking at their vaginas. That's what you're asking of this guest. How did you feel?
You're not allowed to say that word on my show, by the way. That's vulgar language, isn't it, Darren?
Don't get me involved in this.
He said vagina.
It was fucking bullshit. I just find it curious that I can get through, and I don't have a lot of time, you son of bitches.
What does vaginas have to do with Oak Island anyway?
Hey, Wolfman.
Willie, did you hear the whole show? Did you hear the beginning of it, the Oak Island part?
No, I only heard the last 20 minutes of it, but
the beginning's good.
He was a wonderful guest. You were doing a hell of a job interviewing. Fucking Wolfman kept cutting shit off. It's fucking disgusting.
That's my job.
He was good at the beginning.
Was he good at the beginning?
He was great.
Did he go off for a fucking 2-hour smoke?
Dig my sense of humor at all, eh?
Oh, yeah. We do.
Some people like it, Willie, my sense of humor.
Yeah, well...
Maybe you just don't get it. Maybe it just goes right over your head like a bird with,
Willie,
hold
on a second.
Can't even flap because it doesn't have wings.
Let's not rip on Wolfman too much.
Well, here's my sense of humor, Wolfman. You were asking earlier, what do you call a male witch? I'll tell you what you call them. You call them fucking virgins.
What?
People that do not stick wieners in vaginas is what I call male witches. Give yourself a fancy name like a warlock.
Sounds like you're afraid of it.
I don't know. I really don't know what to call it. Your guess is as good as mine, but I certainly do enjoy a good vagina.
Well, you're a fucking born again virgin then. And I had a serious fucking space question yesterday. Serious, I wasn't even going to allude to your shit ass into the interview, but yet again, I call in conveniently. I don't on a podcast. You didn't take my fucking call, but I had a serious space question. You had a space guy on there, and I needed answers, and it would have lightened your stuff.
That was Jeff. Bazinga. He's still here. Jeff is still here. That was Jeff.
Why don't you talk to Jeff? Well, he's on.
I haven't been able to listen. Yeah, I haven't been able to listen to a lot of show. I just got done with dinner. Now I'm going to go have some drinks. All right. Can I ask a space question without Wolfman interrupting?
Yes.
All right.
Go ahead.
I see these. All right. It's basically 3 parts, man. I see these damn satellites. They're hauling ass across the sky. My first question is, why wouldn't they be more stationary? Because it seems like they wouldn't be able to do their job if they're continually, out of range. My second thing is, I know that they have to reset basically the clock in all these GPS satellites because they're traveling at such a fast rate of speed that time is different for them. And if they didn't reset them daily, they'd be off by like 30 feet or 30 yards a day. And my third question is, if that's true, that these satellites are actually on a different time loop. The time is slower for them. Why the hell don't we see a bunch of rich motherfuckers sitting up in damn spaceship, coffin type things, zipping around the world? Because one day for their decrepit dying ass would be like, a week for us on Earth. So they could actually, if they have 5 years left to live, if they're zipping around us in their little coffins, 50 years on Earth would advance, and maybe we could cure what's ailing them.
All right. So your first question was about why the satellites are hauling ass across the sky, and that has to do with their orbit around the Earth is relative to their altitude. So some of them that are really high up have a high altitude. They don't necessarily move. They're in a geosynchronous orbit, so they maintain that same position in the sky. And the other ones that you see are closer to the Earth, they have to maintain that speed so they don't fall back down to Earth. And a lot of those are actually connected to each other like a network. So they have maybe 30 of them, and they cover the entire planet. Does that answer your question?
I got a question.
Well, all right, go ahead, Darren.
So if it's in a geosynchronous orbit, wouldn't it look like a star? Do we ever see satellites?
Yes, there are some of them. Yes.
So they would just be there like a star, and it would be a satellite.
Right, they're in the same position all the time.
But they're farther out because
that way they're much further out. Yeah, they're 100, 200 miles out.
The closer
what was your second question?
Well, I'd like to touch on that first one just real quick. Then, what's the advantage of having one that's hauling ass across the sky? Because obviously, if whatever that satellite is providing me here on Earth, it's going to be out of my range in literally a few minutes.
Right. So then they'll have another one that's going to be in the sky, like so when that other one leaves, you're going to have another one coming into the view, and so that one will switch the signal over. And the whole purpose of having them in such a close orbit is that they're closer to you, and it doesn't take as much power, and you get a more reliable signal. Because the signal is inversely proportionate to the distance from it. So. If you bring that satellite half as close to you, you're only going to need like a quarter of the power to use it. So they're more efficient, and you get a better signal out of them.
I got to be honest, that does make some sense.
Yeah, and so I think the second one is you asked about the time difference. So yes, actually they discovered that the gravity slows down or speeds up time depending on how far or how close you are to the Earth. So the stronger the gravity, so closer to Earth, time is going to go faster for you. So these satellites actually lose time up in space because the gravity isn't having as an effect on the time. So when they're up there, they actually lose time, and they have to reset the clocks on them.
I thought it was because of their speed.
No, it doesn't have to do with this. Not necessarily the speed. They're not going fast enough. It does, but theirs is more or less the gravity, because that actually happens even in the high altitude. More so in the high altitude. They did experiments where they took clocks. And they put them up in the aircraft, and they were fractions of a second slower.
Yeah, they put them in jets and sent the jets two different directions. When they came back around, they were milliseconds off.
Right.
So they proved it.
Right. So they proved that it's speed does, but it's more so gravity in this instance, because you would have to approach speeds that were closer to the speed of light. That would have to really affect the time, as where it doesn't require as much gravity to have an effect. So the gravity has a stronger effect on the time, the clocks, than does the speed. Does that make sense?
Well, okay, then why can't you combine the two of them and put yourself? Yeah. So how much time? Well, not exactly, but roughly. They're resetting these satellites by, I don't know, fractions of a second or a couple of seconds. I'm not sure.
It's fractions of a second. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just fractions of a second.
Yeah.
So why not have something fucking hauling ass farther away, you know, if gravity is that big of a deal, and it's just making a big-ass Superman loop around Earth, or anything for that matter, you would assume that relative to Earth that, you know, I'd go hang out in a fucking space coffin for 5 years and haul ass around something, and 50 years on Earth would have advanced. And they, you know, likely maybe come up with cures for diseases or whatever. It seems like a pretty plausible deal. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Yeah, that you would have to reach, like if you're going really fast, you'd have to reach speeds that were, I mean, close to the speed of light. I mean, currently, the fastest we can go is still less than 1% the speed of light. So it's really insignificant. You know, the shuttle travels at like 20,000 miles an hour, but you know, I don't know what that equates to in seconds, but you know, speed of light travels like 300,000.
Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie.
Per second.
Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie. Hey, Willie.
Oh shit! What, Wolfman?
I got a question for you.
What?
Have you ever had a piece of clothing or something like your keys disappear, and you look and you know where you put it, and then it's not there, and then you go back like a day later or later, maybe that same day, and it's in the same fucking spot that you looked, and it's there now?
Have I ever lost some clothing
Or
and then
no,
found it
like
again?
where you think you may have misplaced something, but you always put it in the same spot, and you look there, and you're looking right at that spot, and it's not there, and then you go back and you look, and it's there. Kind of like Lulabelle's story, where she folded her laundry, and then went in the garage, and there's the shirt that she just folded is lying in the garage floor.
She sounds like a hell of a shitty housekeeper, is all I can say.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Lulabelle.
well, she should maybe make more dinners and less fucking laundry. Is what her man should be telling her.
At least
Holy
she folded it.
Yeah, well,
Come on.
You know, maybe the rings of Saturn are actually made out of socks. I don't know, but yeah, she sounds like a horrible housekeeper. And glad we got Trump over there, and we'll put these women back in the freaking kitchen where they belong.
My gosh, I sure wouldn't want to be a girl and dating you.
Hey, Willie. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Wolfman, the interrupting radio host.
Yeah, no shit. You're
Hey, Willie! Hey, Willie!
Hey. We should get Marilyn on here.
Yeah, we're having a legitimate space. This is what I called in for yesterday. A legitimate space questions. And you want to talk about some fucking ugly broad shitty laundry habits. Again,
yeah, well,
man,
she you know what? She's in the chat room, and she said she made some delicious fish tonight.
Delicious fish.
Yep.
That just makes me want to fucking puke. Oh, my God.
What'd you eat for dinner tonight, Willie?
I'm wondering if it tastes like chicken.
This broad just rubbed some fucking sour cream on her coochie, and she's trying to feed it to her fucking husband. And she probably got chained up. Good Lord.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Lulabelle? Would you date Willie?
Hey, Willie, where'd you go out to dinner? Do you have a date tonight?
No, I went to a friend of mine's. They actually had a Christmas party this early. Makes me sick, but yeah, I went to a Christmas party.
Christmas party before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it was pretty odd, but things get booked up here, you know. We went out to a fancy restaurant and all that crap. So,
What'd you have for dinner?
I had fucking prime rib, the most overrated piece of shit cut of meat there is out there.
Huh. How much did it
Hey, we have
cost?
Apocalypse in the chat room.
Is he back? Right on.
He is
Hey,
back.
buddy. Big hugs for Apocalypse, everybody. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
If you cook octopus right, it doesn't come out rubbery.
How can you eat octopus? They're smarter than we are.
It's really good.
I know, I love it.
It is. It's delicious.
I believe that they are actually maybe more intelligent than us, and they are actually an alien species, believe it or not, that has been scientifically proven to not come from this planet.
Yeah, that's why I ingest, the octopus, so I can get that alien DNA.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever seen the octopus that gets out of the jar?
I like wearing them on my head.
That's awesome. Yeah, he squeezes through like a hold less than an inch, and this thing is just massive, and it just squeezes itself through.
But have you guys ever put a pyramid hat on made out of tinfoil, and then you put an octopus in there?
Yeah, every Friday night.
I think it's fun. I really don't know what the people downtown think of me.
Willie, how often do you catch an octopus when you're fishing?
How the fuck did we go from time travel and then Wolfman cuts in and we're talking about fucking octopuses now?
Yeah.
Literally.
I thought you'd like that. Well, no, I was going to ask you, Willie, have you ever worn a tinfoil hat to stop those voices that talk to you?
Good look. You know what I do? I'll cancel my cell phone, and these are the voices I won't fucking hear, because these are the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life. These are the only crazy voices I hear coming out of this shit fucking show that you tried to wreck again tonight. How do you go from time travel to fucking octopus to fucking tinfoil hats? This is serious fucking
I know,
science.
it's really,
I'm trying to get
me,
answers
it's very
from.
serious. I do like wearing octopuses on my head. And I'm very serious about it.
Yeah, well, they got a beak that I'm sure they probably gnawed down to something and hit some sort of a little core that's in the brain that you need to function with. But, you should wear an octopus on your head every fucking chance you get.
Wolfman, do they celebrate Thanksgiving in Canada?
We celebrate it a month before you guys.
What?
Oh, what do you call it?
Thanksgiving.
Oh.
Ours is a month.
What's it for? What does it symbolize?
That's when you it's just like Thanksgiving for your garden and everything growing, and you eat turkey the same as yours, man. It's like thanks for
is it the
harvest.
third week of October?
What's yours on the 11th? Isn't it?
It's on the third or fourth week
third
Thursday. Third Thursday.
Yeah.
When is yours?
Well, it's the 24th this year, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, 24th.
It's always different. It's always the third Thursday.
I can't remember.
November.
Anyways, I really don't remember. But I believe ours is to the day, like a month ahead of yours, because our harvest is sooner because of the cold coming sooner here. So ours would, you guys down there. Well, actually, in Ontario, where I am, it's pretty much the same climate as the northern states. But yeah, so most parts of Canada would be colder, and so the harvest would be a month earlier.
Willie.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
To whoever's in chat. If you're listening to this shit show, I called in with a legitimate science question. And this is what is going... Now we're talking about fucking Canadian harvest, which no one can give a rat's ass about. Our minds could have been expanded with science.
I actually prefer talking about...
I thought we answered your question.
Yeah, like I prefer talking about stupid shit and octopuses on your head than any kind of legitimate science question. Don't you think so, Darren?
I'm not getting involved. I do have a question for Willie, though. Willie, have you ever caught a strange fish that didn't belong in the waters where you caught it?
That's a good question.
Have you ever caught a strange fish that shouldn't have been there where it was? Well, obviously... Huh?
Yeah, what's the weirdest thing you've ever caught where you're like, oh my god, what is this?
On a rod and reel? And again, I apologize to the people that are listening because I tried to make this a science show. I don't know, man. I caught some weird shit in the crab pot, you know? There's these little fucking half shrimp, half crab things. But, I don't know. I caught some crabs one time that I actually thought were rocks. It turns out they're I think they're called box crab or something, which is not very common. I literally thought they were rocks until all of a sudden these little legs started moving around. And again, I apologize to the audience because I tried to bring this to science, and these fucks.
Yeah.
As soon as Wolfman chimed in,
I think that it was more, some kind of really weird kind of crabs, and it was more in a different region than you're talking about.
That's cool. I've never heard of those before. Do you catch octopus very often?
I catch octopus damn near any time I leave a shrimp pot in for more than 24 hours, yeah.
Can you keep them, or do you have to release them?
Oh, no, they're delicious, man.
I would freaking eat that shit too, man, if I was you.
You keep them? Is it legal to keep them?
Octopus is yummy, man.
Yeah.
So you can harvest octopus as much as you want?
I do. I'm assuming it's legal. I don't know.
But they're like hard to get, aren't they, Willie? It's rare. Isn't it rare to get one, or
No, he said no. They're always in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you live again, this doesn't have anything to do with my previous call, but or time travel. But if you leave a shrimp pot out there for 24 hours,
you know what? I don't want to talk about octopuses and shrimp. Let's talk about the time travel. What were you talking about? Let's get serious here.
Okay, so it's already scientifically proven that these satellites that are circling the Earth at relatively slow speeds, they have to reset their clocks every day because their time is different. So, and as I forget his name, I'm sorry, was saying that gravity is a bigger effect on time. Why doesn't a millionaire, some crazy ass millionaire, put himself in a fucking spaceship and launch himself, and he'll go way the fuck faster because you can keep going faster and faster and faster once you're out in space. Why didn't he just launch himself around the sun? And that would be, I don't know, a 30-year journey for the people on Earth. And so relative to him, that might only be a 5-year journey. And so he can come back to Earth, and we have progressed 15 years. And I'm just trying to figure out the math as far as the time. If you were to fly from Earth, and you're increasingly going faster, and then you fly literally around the sun at a safe distance. So you're going to have the gravity effect, and you're going to have the effect of hauling ass. Would you not be able to do that and have Earth progress by 30 to 50 years by the time you came back, and you've literally only aged 5 years?
I'm not sure on the exact math, but yeah, if you were going fast enough, as you approach the speed of light, basically, for you, relative to Earth, your time would be slower. So yeah, you would only age a few years, while Earth would age like 20 years.
Then, I'm just curious. Why don't we have these people doing that are terminally ill, that have the money, and just launching them on an orbit around the sun, which I assume has some big-ass gravity, and that would affect time even more, and it would also help them to slingshot around to increase their speeds.
The gravity of the sun would actually do the opposite. It would actually speed them up to where they would actually age faster. So they would have to avoid the gravity. So they would have to just be in the vacuum of space, not close to any planets or stars, and they'd have to go really fast.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have the...
Okay,
it's all theory.
So then you go the opposite of the sun then.
Right. You would just have to avoid, but you would have to be going so fast, they're not even close to it. The matter is they don't have the right propulsion to get going to those speeds yet.
But once you're out in space, then there's nothing holding you back. As long as you're able to fire a rocket off, you're incrementally going to accelerate.
You're going to go faster and faster because nothing's going to really slow you down. Very true.
Right. So you're not going to hit the speed of light, but you go the opposite direction of the sun. So then you have the effect of gravity that makes things even greater. And so you shoot off in the opposite direction, but you do it in a way that you figure it out, so you curve back and you come back. If I had, terminal cancer and I had $1 billion, I would say launch me in the opposite direction of the sun, and I'll loop back and I'll come back to Earth in 5 years. I would assume that in 5 years, if we're dealing with satellites on a daily basis, even if it's fractions of seconds, and they're not actually moving that fast, and you say it's gravity that basically, makes us have to compensate for that lack of time. So I would have less gravity by going away from the sun, going away from the Earth, but I would also be hauling ass. So now we're not talking about seconds, we're talking about minutes. And you add, even if it's only, 3 minutes a day, and I'm out there for 5 years, you compound that by Earth, that's, I don't know, it's years, I would assume.
Yeah, in theory, it's possible. They don't have the technology to go that fast yet, and you'd have to worry about things like the radiation of space. You'd also have to worry about small meteors, small asteroids, debris in space. I mean, because if you're going, several hundred, 1,000 miles an hour, and you hit like a tiny little pebble, it's going to just puncture whatever craft you're in. And then, then you're dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, these...
Well, I think you can get away from that, though.
Hang on.
I mean,
Willie,
you're in a toad.
Do you mind if I add something, Willie? Little tiny meteors are flying around in the universe at millions of miles an hour. So, like, it faster than a bullet. These little tiny things the size of maybe smaller than a marble will just rip through you and your spacecraft. And the radiation, I really don't even see how it's... with the technology we have, we'd have to have some kind of a force field around the ship, just like on Star Trek, in order to actually...
Exactly. Yeah. You would have to have something to deflect the asteroids and the tiny little things that, like you said, are flying several, million miles an hour.
Right. But I'm not talking about... I'm talking like an umbrella thing that's towing the ship behind it. And that umbrella thing, because not only will that, take the brunt of anything that hits it, but you would think there'd be some sort of centrifugal force, like, when you're going through the air. If it's shaped right, you could almost have things deflect. And as far as the radiation, well, if you're dying, well, sit there in a lead-lined, coffin spaceship, and you could get by with the radiation.
No,
but
sorry, dude. Lead is too heavy to use in any kind of space travel situation. That's way too heavy, and it would take way too much lead. And there's no way that you'd be able to launch that in any kind of... well, it would just be ridiculous, the amount of lead. I believe that's been proved totally wrong, right, Jeff?
I mean, the lead works, but they use it's just too heavy. They use other things.
I heard
there's even the possibility of using
gold,
magnetic shielding. Yeah, gold works. So a lot of stuff you'll see it's covered in gold foil. That's the reason.
Are these things lead and stuff? Are these things that we cannot get off the moon?
I guess you probably could find lead on the moon, and once you're up in space, if you had like that tether, what do they call that? Space tether, like a space elevator, then you could bring all kinds of shit up there and just build the spacecraft up in space. That would definitely make sense. But I think there's already stuff that's way more advanced than that, where they have plasmic energy fields around. Using what do you call that? Mercury spinning in like a very gyroscope kind of way, and they electrify the mercury somehow, and it causes some kind of anti-gravity field. Isn't that the way the Vimanas worked? Anybody know anything about Vimanas?
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, there was ancient flying machines that was already built, and actually in India they actually have diagrams for them and everything, and it shows some kind of a what do you call it? Like a gyroscope kind of thing filled with liquid mercury, and I don't really know more about it, but I do believe that has something to do with and probably why that most of the UFOs things that you see are saucer shaped, because of this mercury vortex that causes an anti-gravity shield. Also, it bends dimensions, and that's what causes the shielding, like a force field or whatever you want to call it, and it causes
it's the flux capacitor.
Yeah, but it causes a shimmering effect where it looks almost like the surface of the craft is on fire. That's what it looks like to me, anyway. And I've seen these things, so I've seen it.
Well, Wolfman, before you start talking about octopuses again, let me ask you one thing. You were talking about when you're flying through space, there's all these shit that can hit you going a million miles an hour. Yeah. Has there ever been one spacecraft that we've launched to Mars or to the moon or anywhere else that has actually been destroyed by these little particles that actually hit it?
There has
little teeny ones. Couple.
There has been like micrometeors that have gone through the space station and the shuttles, and they were able to fix and seal the holes up, and they were really lucky.
So we've never had a failure due to this, and the fact is, space is fucking gigantic, man. It's not like you're going to be sitting in Kansas. It's the odds are if you're sitting in Kansas and fucking wind blows, and you're going to get some sand from the Pacific Ocean flying and get in your eye. So I think that's just a risky take because it's minuscule. Because space is so fucking big.
We just don't have the propulsion yet. As soon as we get the propulsion, if we had some type of machine that can continually add speed to a spacecraft, we could maybe do it, but we don't right now.
But we do.
I actually think they already are going to Mars and everything, man. They got this shit.
Solar.
They're just not. The government has this shit. They're not telling you about it.
No, we have the propulsion. We fly to Mars, and the problem is not getting there on time. We have to spend so much energy to slow us down so that we can actually land there.
I believe there's already colonies. I'm talking about
things that doesn't slow down.
Don't you think there's already colonies on Mars and the Moon and all over the fucking solar system? That's what I think. And they're not going to tell you about that. Their technology is way, way more advanced than... They have free energy devices they're not giving you. They're holding everything back and making people into slaves that just want you to be stupid, Willie. But they have all this shit.
They want Willie to be stupid.
Yeah, and I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had dreams, Willie, where you can fly and you take control of your dreams, so it's called, like, lucid dreaming? Have you ever done that?
Oh, you son of a bitch. There you go again. Motherfucker. Good Lord.
Oh, come on. It's a question out of the chat room.
You're the kind of person that sat down to do the homework and your mom came by and took the fucking pencil and paper away from you and said, fuck this. Let's go outside and do some freaking yoga. Holy shit. We're talking nuts and
How did you know that I did yoga with my mother?
And you get all philosophical about...
You've been spying on me and my
dreams. What do you want to look in a fucking mirror at my vagina now, Mike?
My God, I know you've been spying on me.
Fucking ridiculous. Once again...
Willie, come on. I know you've been spying on me doing yoga, and I will bet $100 that this guy plays the skin flute.
The only good thing you said yesterday, Mike, was, we have Darren over here to ask the questions, and I fucking applauded that. I thought you finally turned the corner, and you thought, Wolfman, you just realize you're the guy behind the man. But yet, when I fucking call in and you finally take my calls, which is rare, and then you all of a sudden interject yourself with
it's
some
actually
goofy ass,
medium.
how the fuck do I dream? Are you shitting me? You want to know about my dreams?
That's right, baby.
I dream about having sex with women. I don't dream about flying around. I'm a man. If I want to go fly, I'll go buy a fucking plane ticket. For goodness sake, I don't fucking...
That one was for Marcus. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah. He requested it last week. So I'm catching up on these requests here. We got 10 minutes left in the show. Oh, yeah. And People Are Strange. That's right. It is the next request. That's right, Wisteria. I know. That's the next one on my list. But it's hard, I can only play a song once in a while because we talk too much.
We never shut up.
So anyways, let's see. How many people on the panel can control their dreams? Because in the chat room we're talking dreams right now. That's why I switched the topic, Willie. I'm sorry, but I'm just going with what the chat room is. Everyone's talking about being able to fly in their dreams and taking control of their dreams. That's really good if you can do that. It is.
Well, your chat room is full of a bunch of fucking losers that want to sleep in their mom's fucking basement.
No, they're
Holy
just.
shit.
They're
You tried to have a legitimate science question.
No, they are my monster freaks.
And you want to listen to what people are writing in. If they got questions,
all right, that's
fucking have them call.
All right, all of my monster freaks put really, really bad spells on Willie tonight so that he has terrible dreams and he can't.
These are the male wizards / virgins. I'm frightened of these little fucks. Yeah. Holy shit, man.
Actually, you know what? You're lucky because we don't really... We actually don't do
what
evil...
They have to say. And you only read what people, these fucking losers on their
if you were on any other radio show, the host would have hung up on you a long time ago. So you're damn lucky.
I've had cool lucid dreams before.
Skype is...
Flying dreams.
Whoa, Skype is fucking right up, man. You guys sound like Cylons or something.
You sound weird.
You sound like you're slow.
I know. How's that possible?
Whoa, you guys both sound real. What's the matter with these guys? Willie, what happened to them?
A bunch of little fucking fruit bowls, what it sounded like to me.
I know. What happened to my monster freaks?
How's he speaking slow if he's speaking the...
That is really weird. Okay.
Sound all deep and stuff.
You guys sound like you just sucked on a whole bunch of helium balloons.
We should ask Art Bell.
The fucking chipmunk they had up their ass is speaking for him now.
Yeah, man. Like, what did they do? What did you...
I don't care.
I don't care either. Art Bell, what do you think?
We have like 3 or 4 minutes left.
Yeah, but Art Bell, what do you think of this?
I don't care.
Yeah.
Willie, did you listen to Art Bell?
Man, you guys sound like kids, like you went back in time and
hey, it's because we're going faster than the speed of light. Apocalypse says that we need to find a rubber wife for Willie.
Well, there's some new ones out. They're really good. Maybe we could open up a donation. Send him one of those robots. What do you think, Willie?
Wolfman?
I think
not only
they really sound funny,
don't
they?
Producing skills have fucking gone out the window.
Oh, I'm not doing that. This is totally Skype, dude. This is hilarious. Actually, wouldn't want to change it for the world.
The gerbil that was stuck up Richard Gere's ass has now called into your fucking show. And now, since it's poorly produced, we're not going to talk fucking science. We're going to listen to these fucking chipmunks talk. I'll just go ahead and get off the phone. Hopefully, you'll do better. Or better yet, Darren will just have his own show, and you can play some tunes. And shut the fuck up and quit fucking wrecking your interviews and blocking my calls after you have a goddamn guest on. Once again, thank you.
Oh, no, thank you very much for calling. We appreciate all our callers, and sometimes some callers we don't really appreciate very much either, but we have them on anyways because they're fucking hilarious. So,
Darren, if you can hear me, you did a great job. Space Guy, I appreciate your damn knowledge. I'm sorry we didn't get to talk more, but this poorly produced show, I can't fucking hear anything, so I'll let Wolfman... I'm going to get off the damn phone, let Wolfman go pee on people's fucking heads and play shit-ass music. Fuck you, Wolfman.
He sure can take a whooping from you, though.
You guys really sound terrible. I'm sorry, but it sounds like you've gone back in time and become kids again.
Yeah, you sound... your voice is really low.
Dude.
It's slow. It sounds slow.
Terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah.
So weird. Thanks for calling in, Willie, though. We needed a little energy into the show tonight.
Yeah, and we all needed Darren to turn into a robot. And now you are.
Am I a robot?
You have turned into a robot.
You are a robot, man.
I think Jeff's turned into some kind of holographic
all right.
Image.
Awesome. Here I am.
Huh, you sound normal to me, Jeff.
Wow, that's really weird. None of the rest of us think you guys sound anywhere near normal.
You're a little echoey, but you sound slow. It's very strange.
Very slow.
You're kidding me. I sound slow? So you guys are in some kind of a time warp. This is fucked.
It's weird, man.
Awesome.
You're deep. You're deep
Yeah.
and you're slow, but you're speaking at the same rate you were. It's very strange.
Yeah, Darren, you sound normal.
I'm going to leave you guys with this beautiful song for Wisteria Whisper.
We got Stabby McHugs in here.
We love you guys. Thanks everyone for listening. Don't forget to check out our new website. Jeff worked very hard on. And if you can, throw us a little donation and I will get better sound equipment so Willie won't get so mad at me all the time. He'll probably yell at me less. I'll try to be a better host, folks. I'll shut the fuck up. I'll let Darren do all the talking next week. Except for when I can't shut up. And then Jeff and I start making fun of the guests. Right, Jeff?
Come out of the rain when you're strange. No one remembers your name when you're strange. When you're strange. When you're strange. Alright, yeah.
Whatever happened to my money? I used to have some up in here.
Temple of the Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that shit, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to do this, man.
I'm going hungry. Yeah.
Right. What the hell's that? I don't know how I did it, man. Notifications. I was on one. What the hell? My account? No. Damn. I did it by accident the one time. And now I can't remember how I did it.
Oh, there we go.
Images, game. Display when unloaded. Games.
Alright, I'm gonna hit start on cock roulette.
Okay, do it.
I just got my crazy screen that you can see if you look on Skype.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hey, how come I can't hear you? Sometimes I can. How come I can't hear your stuff?
Oh yeah, you're not gonna be able to hear these assholes because of how we're talking. You're not gonna be able to hear anybody. Like the people that are watching.
Well, how did you link up Dog Baby last time?
Say it one more time. What did you say?
How did you link up Dog Baby?
Band. Hold on. I got banned.
Notification.
From chat roulette. How did I link up Dog Baby the last time?
Yeah.
Because there's a hack for Skype. If you go into your folder in Skype, there's there's a file that's like RTM codec.dll.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is rename that file to whatever.
Oh.
And restart Skype, and it'll say something's messed up. You need to download the new thing. You just hit cancel. And as long as you are the person that's hosting the call, everybody that's on the call can hear whatever you're playing on your Google or whatever you're playing on your web browser, anything you're playing on your computer, anything. You know what I mean? Any sound effects, etc. Yeah. But you got to be the one that's hosting the call. And the other shitty thing about it, for me to log in with you when you're hosting the call, I had to re-download Skype and reinstall it.
What the hell?
That codec file changes. Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's a hack that shout out to Don Tony and Kevin Castle, the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show. DT is the one who found that.
This just happened to me again by accident. I was looking for it, and I just went out of where I was searching, and boom, there it is. How the hell did this happen? It's like somebody...
Skype is fucked up, man.
No. Discord just did it. Like, you need a Discord tag. Do you have one?
No, I'm not even... I just started hearing about it. I'm not even with it.
Man. Okay. You can add a friend with their Discord tag. Online.
Yeah, man, we can figure that out later. Aren't you live on your shit?
Yeah,
and I'm live on my shit, and we're sitting here trying to figure out about a Discord tag.
Yeah. Yeah, I know we are.
What's going on, motherfuckers?
Yeah, I can't figure it out. Sorry, dude.
It's all good, man. Fuck it. We'll figure it out some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because remember last time I had to host the call, so I was the one that was calling. I was the one that was prank calling the phone numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to host the fucking call. Look, I got myself banned from Chat Alternative already. I got my shit banned.
Uh-oh.
No, because I had this stupid-ass crazy shit that I'm broadcasting on the corner. No, it's fine, man. We just go to a different one, Omega or something else. But you can't hear it. That's the thing, man, unless I'm hosting the call.
Okay, well, why don't you host the call then?
All right, Wolfman. Give me 3 minutes and I'll be right back.
Perfect. I'll put a song on. I haven't been able to do this yet for a long time here.
Hell yeah, man. We're going to fuck around, man. We'll have some fun. Bear with us through our technical difficulties, and we'll be right back.
All right, I'm going to groove you with something right here, man. We got, let's see, what is this? Tort Elvis. I believe Tort Elvis.
Welcome to DreadZeppelin.com.
Share a meal in the shower. Until then, please enjoy the splendid treat that is Tort Elvis with Steve Naive and Tapestry.
Well, since my baby left me, found a new place to dwell. It's at the end of Lonely Street, that's a heartbreak hotel. I feel so lonely, baby. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely, baby. Oh, I could die. The bellboy's always crying. The ladies dressed in black. They've been so long on Lonely Street. Well, I'll never go back. I feel so lonely, baby. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely, baby. Oh, I could die. Oh, people talking all around about the way you left me flat. Oh, I don't care what those people say. And if I'm that jazz, the one thing I do have on my mind, well, I'm probably still. So when you call me a nigga, I'm trying to make well, if your baby leaves you, got a tale to tell. There's only a little lonely street, that's a heartbreak hotel. I feel so lonely, baby. I feel so lonely. I feel so lonely, baby. Oh, I could die.
Carl Ja, give me an A flat minor 7th diminished.
The record shows I took the blow. Handed it my
Wow, alright, that was groove, baby. Okay, and we're still waiting for Yuck Nasty to come back, but I got lots of shit coming up here. If I can make this goddamn thing work, alright. Here we go with something else. Come on. Oh, man. Bernie Pooty, legendary. Ooh, wow. Cool. Wishbone Ash. I want to hear some more of this Wishbone Ash. Yeah. Wishbone Ash is a really strange band. Let's check it out.
Met a man who felt the same way. feel underrated.
When December, plot on the New Year, crazy the city.
Yeah.
I'm singing it loud, I'm coming right through here.
That's better.
While I'm rocking bird, I'll lead the most high, everything's superb. Ran out of time, so I hit the swerve. You ran out of time, so I gotta swerve. Double sim. Please do not come with no nonsense, baby. You know you get no time.
Ah, Wolfman, are you there?
Yeah, baby.
Ah, what's going on, pimpin'?
Yeah, Stabby McHugs just sent me a link to something called Angel Grapefruit Technique. What is that?
What the fuck happened?
Oh, it's weird. Stabby sent me something called Angel Grapefruit Technique.
Wait a minute, who is Stabby?
Stabby McHugs from my chat room. He's one of he's one of my biggest fans there.
What is it? Angel Grapefruit Technique?
Yeah. Well, he's the one who set up the Spreaker Underground network, pretty much.
Oh my God, is that a porno link?
I don't know, but let's check it out. It's inappropriate for some viewers on YouTube.
Am I gonna be hacked by the Russians and some ransomware?
Maybe.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that you, Stabby?
Yeah, it's me, Stabby.
Right on.
Lies. It's Apocalypse.
What is that?
We're pretty much the same gay type of person.
Many people think we are the same person.
Right.
Yeah, I get it mixed up all the time, and I've known you for years.
True.
What is it? I'm looking it up right now. Okay, hang on. I put angle instead of angel. I can't fucking spell. Great.
Wolfman.
Yeah.
Did you say hi to a Jewish producer?
How you doing, Jewish producer?
Hey, what's up? Who are you? Who are you?
This is the Wolfman, Mike.
Oh, that's what I thought. Okay. How's it going, my friend?
Good. So you're not the same as the angry Jew?
Absolutely, positively not.
Wow, that's weird. I thought you guys were the same person all the time in Spreaker chat.
No, two different Jews. Believe it.
Wow, I'm sorry for mixing you guys up.
No, that's okay. I don't think I ever caught onto that until just now, but he lives in Thailand.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I'm here. I'm in Los Angeles.
Okay. Angel Grapefruit. Technique reaction? Is that what I'm looking for?
No, just the main one.
Angel Grapefruit, what, technique? No, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Angel Grapefruit.
Are we talking about jerking off material?
Is that a sex move?
Just do Angel Grapefruit or what?
Ow.
Do the grapefruit.
Angel Grapefruit, full? Angel Grapefruit,
Sure.
full video?
Sure.
Okay. We'll check this out. Can you hear that, Yuck?
Now this is my bonus technique, the grapefruit. Normally you can only get this technique in one of my classes, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe every man should get grapefruited. When you grapefruit your man, it's going to feel as if you are giving him head and fucking him at the same time. No better feeling would he ever get than being grapefruited. So what you need to do is you need to, of course, have a grapefruit. You want to make sure you get the ruby red. It's sweeter and it's easier.
Is this
if
the one?
you are allergic to grapefruit or can't use a grapefruit for your medication, you can always use a large navel orange. Now, what you want to do is make sure the grapefruit is room temperature. All you have to do is put it in warm water. Do not microwave it. Do not boil it. Then, once it gets to that temperature, all you need to do is roll it. The reason why you want to roll it is because you want to juice it up a little bit. The juicier, the better. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find the navel. There's 2 navels to the grapefruit. Once you do that, you're going to place it on the plate, and the navel's on the outside. You want to take a knife, and you actually want to cut one side of that navel off. Now, all this that you're doing, he will not see any of this preparation because I'm going to tell you that a little bit later. It's a trick. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take it to the other side, and do the same thing. So you should have a grapefruit that has two sides missing, just like this.
Yeah, wait for the payoff.
Now what you're going to do is you're going to put a hole in the middle of the grapefruit, approximately the size of your man's penis. Do not make it too big. Do not make it too tight. Just approximate. Then what you want to do is you're going to take the knife midway down and make sure it goes all the way through. All you want to do is make a nice hole in the middle of the grapefruit. Now, if you take it and make it too big, that's okay, because you can always squeeze your hands like the muscles of your vagina. And if you make it too tight, all you have to do is take your finger and push the flesh back.
See the hole she made? He's got to have a huge dong.
Now, when you grapefruit your man...
yeah, I'm glad you noticed that.
Oh, that's it?
Did that end? No, there's more.
Yeah, it just ended. Oh, that was supposed to be the full one. Damn it.
There you go. Yeah.
Links.
Wait a minute.
I can hear something still playing, but it's not me.
No, it's me, but we're echoing on your shit now.
Ah.
Yeah, it's working out good. Man.
Hey, how did Chris Cornell die anyway?
He hung himself.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know why.
It's antipsychotic.
That's strange, man. Why would he do that? It kind of reminds me of Kurt Cobain.
I know.
Oh, yuck. You're cutting in and out. I can't hear you.
I know. We're totally echoing now. Everything. It's probably your
Okay, well, I got that turned off now.
Taped, rigged up studio.
Oh, hang on.
I'm hanging.
I can hear some clinking going on, like somebody's cooking or something.
Hell yeah, my woman's eating her fucking...
Or is that the... Are you watching the
Why
grape?
you do
Light it up.
What's
Oh, I think I know what it is.
Yeah, you're probably fucking it up, Wolfie.
Oh.
Well,
that's what he does.
Yeah, it's what I do, man. It's what I do best. No, it's a lot of times we have this trouble when we try to link our boards together, yeah.
Dude, it was fine until I was the one hosting the call.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man, we gotta figure something out, man. We're wasting time, baby.
Well, so you sound fine now.
Yeah, because I was ways away from the microphone. Now I'm up in the microphone, and I'm cracking too much.
Okay.
Alright, fucking. Let me just hang up and I'll let you host.
How are we gonna call then?
I would whip my dick out. Sky Genie and Jinx are telling me to whip my dick out and fix it. Wait a minute, I'm not echoing now. Are you there?
No, you're not echoing now.
Hey,
You sound good. What was the magic trick?
I didn't do anything, man. I had a browser open and I just closed it, but that was not even on. Well, I just turned down the channel where I send music in. I turned it down.
You guys sound fine.
Well,
everything sounds fine, Wolfman.
All right. Interesting.
Yeah, we're trying to figure this out. See, now I'm echoing again.
Yeah. Okay, hang on.
Man, it's Skype. Skype sucks balls. Let me try to restart my shit and see what happens.
It's probably this computer here, man. It's probably the computer that I'm got the Skype hooked to. It sucks. Let's try it a different way. If I can open Skype in this other one here. I should have set this up ahead. But if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it won't work. But I did have it working before. So, we'll try this. yes. Like that. Okay, here we go. Now, hopefully this works, guys. This is the Dirty Rotten Taro show. It's a terrible show. Listen at your own risk. It's mind-warping devilry and profanities. Okay. Let's see. Get in the corner. I gotta check if I got sound here. Here we go again. The only thing I'm not doing right is I don't have a cigarette in my mouth while I'm talking to you right now. I should really have a cigarette in my mouth while I'm hooking things up. Okay, VB virtual cable, audio cable. That is hooked up. Let's go over to Spreaker. Well, why? Whoa. Okay. VB audio cable MME. What the hell? It was working before. Just a second. VB audio cable. Voice meter. Oh, I hooked up the wrong one.
What the hell is going on?
I'm trying to hook up a stupid audio cable connection.
Are you playing some music at least?
Okay, I can do that. What the fuck, eh? I'll find something. Oh, I got something here. Oh, I got a good one. Here you go.
I got some dynamite, or I got some real hard drives, all the way from Jamaica to sunny Brixton. Try some of these. Oh, I'll have a go. Hang on. Cool, that's alright, isn't it?
Drugs in my pocket.
take 1,000,003.
Bad habits.
Cheating at exams.
Bad habits.
Never washing hands.
Bad habits.
Smoking in the bogs.
Bad habits.
I won't do it again. Oh.
Bad habits.
Buying dirty mags.
Bad habits.
Dodging in the fix.
Bad habits.
Groping in the dark.
Bad habits.
I won't do it again. Oh. All these things, they lower my resistance. Don't think I can stay the distance. All these things they say are bad, they feel so good to me. You know, I just don't think I can resist them.
Bad habits.
Staying out all night,
Bad habits.
shouting at the kids,
Bad habits.
beating up the wife.
Bad habits.
I won't do it again. Oh. Oh.
Oh, every time. Yep. Except for when it starts. Yeah.
Here I am, what were you expecting? Do I seem like a bad impression of someone that you used to know? Didn't seem that long ago. What am I, your latest bad idea? Just a good luck panacea. Used to say that you love me so. Now tell me why you gotta go. So, if you wanna stay, I can get it right, my love. Oh, don't you run away. We can get it right, my love. I'm afraid it's just the same old story. If I sing, would it sound less boring? God, I feel like such a crook, but I just can't return this book. All I got is a sad confession that you are my only obsession. And I'm trying to repay my debts. You know that I ain't finished yet. So, if you wanna stay, I can get it right, my love. Oh, don't you run away. We can get it right, my love. Oh, right, my love. Oh, right, my love. We all know there's no turning back. We've been running on a one-way track. Love is just a winding road.
those of the network or anyone affiliated. There will be mature and possibly immature content. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. As a matter of fact, I probably wouldn't listen at all. It's very poorly produced. Take me to your leader.
Take me to your leader.
Welcome to the Monster Castle Radio Show. For the extreme paranormal listener. And here is your host, the Wolfman Mike.
This is where the real freaks hang out, alright? Yeah.
We're on the air. We're back. I'm just waking up and I'm nursing a beer and hope everyone else is not hungover like me. That was a late night. Okay. And shout out to Mark Hanapepe and I can't pronounce, what is this? Mrs. a Foxgiven. Something like that. In the Spreaker chat room. All right. Everybody go to the Spreaker chat room. Go to Spreaker.com. Find Monster Castle Paranormal. Click on it. Click on the show that says live. And if you're online, you just go to comments down below and you are in the chat room. So, how's it going today, Darren? It's up.
It's going pretty good. Just woke up.
You just woke up? Are you hungover too?
I'm not hungover.
You missed church, didn't you?
I'm a little groggy.
Groggy, yeah.
I didn't have a chance to get any coffee yet here.
Oh, okay, that's Rachel in the chat room. That's wild. Okay. Today, this afternoon, we're going to cover some wide variety of topics. And I don't know if you have any news, Darren?
No.
I didn't get any news ready, but we could just bring the guest on right now, and it's Joseph Moore. Are you there, Joe?
I am. Hello,
right.
everyone. How are you guys? How are you doing, Mike? Darren?
Excellent. Yeah.
Thanks for coming back.
I was just thinking.
Thank you for having me back on.
I'm thinking instead of covering the news, maybe we could just discuss what's going on down in Syria for a minute again. Have any you guys heard anything new developments?
I just saw on CNN. I have my TV muted in the living room. Our TV. Well, something else right now. But apparently, I guess ISIS. Well, they believe it to be ISIS. You know how it is. A lot of disgruntled people claim to be with ISIS, or they just take credit for it. But anyway, lone wolf or inspired attacks, as they call it. I guess on some United States military base. I think it said, I forgot where it was. I'm not sure if it was Egypt or somewhere in the Middle East. But the military repelled the attack. But it's not like an old-fashioned troops are on the way, they're advancing onto your citadel, and it's just, a lot of these people, they're just inspired. I don't see it as I'm trying to say this in such a way where it doesn't sound like I'm mitigating the situation. I don't see it the same as the old-fashioned way, like I said, of armies attacking you. It is terrible what happened. But keeping things in perspective, when they're inspired, someone could just...
Hello? It's okay, you can tell us.
I don't know what happened there. Did you drop?
Uh-oh.
United States.
Yeah.
And you know how if anybody who's well aware of the United States, we're, with all due respect, and nothing against my fellow Americans, but we're pretty violent. Something like 26 to 30,000 people die each year of gun-related deaths. Now, on average, each year. And I can't remember for sure the statistics that, like, some of it's accidental, but most of it is violence. That's every year. But where's about that? And of course, I'm not going to get too political here about gun control or whatever. But that, when a few people are killed by someone who's Muslim and who's a radical, regardless of what political affiliation, just for the fact that they're Muslim and of course kill somebody, you should never do that. But they'll focus on like a few, people who are killed by some radical person who's of Muslim faith, but then they don't pay attention to Americans we killing ourselves on something between 20 to close to 30,000 people each year in the United States via handguns. In the state of, I'm calling from Lincoln, Nebraska. In Nebraska, there's a lot of towns that are not even that size.
Yeah, and I don't know, do you guys carry guns?
I do not, but I do believe in self-defense, but I do not have a gun.
What about you, Darren? Do you carry a gun?
I do not carry a gun. Well, no, I don't carry a gun. I have guns. Someone comes into my house.
Oh, right on.
I have all my.
What about yourself,
guns.
Mike?
In Canada here, I cannot divulge that information out because we have too much regulations against that for me to bother saying any answer to that.
I can tell you this much: had I been carrying a gun once in my life, I would have used it, and I'm glad I didn't. so that's why I don't carry. You know what I mean?
I'm a Democrat. I am a socialist. I'm not a liberal. I'm further to the left than that. But a lot of people, especially in the United States, they make the assumption that if you're a liberal or to the left, like I am, that we're just all hippies and we're pacifists and yada yada. I was raised this, but
he dropped again. Right on. We got a shout out to Dennis and Joe in the Spreaker chat room. And shout out
Angry
to
Bomb or Joe
KTLK
Root?
Network, the Fringe.fm, which we are on right now. Yeah. And, okay, yeah, about guns in Canada, yeah, it's really regulated here. It's crazy. So, they make it pretty
can
hard.
I ask you about how many deaths from guns-related incidents do you know each year?
Oh, my God. Well, if you're looking at Toronto, it's like almost every day. You know, but the rest of Canada, like except for the big cities, you don't really hear much about it.
Chicago or New York City.
It's usually some other weapon that people have. Like we had a standoff just down the street here last week, and there was an armed standoff, and they actually had to evacuate this low rental area and evacuate everyone else out, and they brought someone out on a stretcher. I haven't heard anything else since what happened there. If it was gun related or it was a stabbing, I don't know.
But I mean, it doesn't sound like it happens that often nationwide.
Well, it's strange though. I never saw anything about it in the news. The only thing I know is because people in my neighborhood told me that the place was evacuated and there was some kind of armed standoff. And I saw a news vehicle there, but I still haven't, like CTV News was there. But I have still haven't heard anything about it on the news.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, let's be honest about it. Had the person been Muslim, had the person been, certain ethnicity, I'm sure you would have heard something about it. Let's just be real about this. It's when it seems like people don't, like I said a few minutes ago in the United States, and when people kill each other every day, whether it's black on black, white on white, or, when it's interracial, as in, a black person kills a white person or vice versa, then it's a big topic. But still, the biggest topic when it comes down to murder, regardless of, it's political or just everyday, when the person is a Muslim, then it's a big situation. That's the only thing that they focus on. So that may have been a situation because it's considered an everyday thing. So what's the big deal? You people who die at the hands of some, a Muslim of whatever stripe, then it's automatically terrorism.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm sorry, but that's what I've noticed here in the United States. It's like there are certain things I read about or hear about, online. Like several people are killed by some, and it's like more people are killed. It could be some kind of family situation or somebody just flipped out for no political reasons and just killed like 6 people, and you hear nothing about it. And like CNN, or I don't watch Fox News or read it online. I stay away from right-wing media. But you hear nothing about it because they're not Muslim. It's not, it's not dealing with the Middle East. It's just like local news, like,
it's just boring. Just somebody getting shot, This Joe Blow shot this guy over there for some crack, and who cares? He's dead, right?
Right. And it's not just the race thing, and just in general, it could be 2 white guys, white people kill each other, and it's hardly ever covered. But again, as soon as you put in Muslim, oh boy, it's incredible. But anyway, I'm trying not to, I don't want to be negative. So.
Well, it's not negative. It's realist. It's realism.
I meant like, me getting worked up and getting, angry. That's more of what I mean.
Oh, that's okay. You can get worked up here.
That's it.
Trust me. I can get really...
We have the Russian solution.
I'm a geek and I laugh a lot and stuff, but trust me, I have a temper.
Did you talk about KGB?
And I do not want to display it.
You were not talking about KGB, were you? You were not...
No.
Do not talk about KGB, all right? You cannot talk about KGB or Russia. I am sorry. It's
Well,
okay. You can
We
bash.
certainly have KGB somewhere in the White House, don't we?
We have people in White House and also in Black House too. Black House and the White House. White and black, both houses.
So, what are you, Joseph? What are your feelings about what's going on with with Syria right now?
Okay, and I had tweeted about this quite a bit. Well, I think it's kind of expected, to be honest with you. Well, it's no coincidence. It's not like Democrats have not done the similar things, because Bill Clinton, he did that with as you remember, the situation with the Balkans, former Yugoslavia. We sent in troops and yada yada, things of that nature. Different circumstances, but of course, Obama, President Obama, former President Obama, he also he kind of amped up the troops a little bit more after a lot of political outcry of not being muscular enough. So he kind of, to appease a lot of right wingers, he kind of bumped up the troops levels in I believe Iraq a little bit more. Now in the situation what happened, basically all what Trump ordered was the bombing of an airfield, and you just look at whether online or TV. I don't read print. I just read everything online pretty much now, except for novels, science fiction novels. That's the only thing I read in print anymore. But anyway, if you read and watch the media, BBC or CNN or MSNBC, you'll see that it's just basically just an airfield that was bombed.
It looks like the smallest airport in the world.
Assad's chemical weapons, they're still functional. So what the hell? I mean, it has not changed the facts on the ground.
Did they just
so it looks like he did something, and he wants to be the antithesis to Obama. I mean, we don't want someone who wants someone in the White House sitting there being rational, thinking things through. But you'd rather just act just for the sake of acting. Mind you, 6 people were killed, but you don't really hear about that or read about it. I think they were all, I believe they were all Syrian, of the Syrian, the Syrian army, I believe. But yeah, I'm not a pacifist. There are times to go to war, like World War II, for instance. But situations like Fareed Zakaria on CNN, and he also does other things too. But he made a point that basically just making a statement via the military, and even other military experts, and I'm not an expert in this. This is outside my realm, but I do have opinions. But and more importantly, I'm citing experts who know about it more than I do. And it's like just making a statement, you're bombing an airfield just to show that you mean business. Well, we already made that point when we dropped the atomic bombs on 2 cities in Japan. We already know we have the. Well, actually, people don't realize this, and I encourage the listeners and everyone else to go on to the website and look it up. But it's plowshares. Where it is, something like that, .com. They do a good job of keeping track of where they're for nuclear disarmament throughout the world. But anyway, they do a good job of keeping track of how many nuclear arms are throughout the world. Russia actually has more. They have something like 9,000 to 10,000 nukes. We have just a slightly less. Something like we have about.
That's nuts,
about 500
man.
less than they do.
What do you need all that for? It'd be like Firecracker Day, but the world's blowing up. Like, come on.
Yeah, at that point, it doesn't matter.
That's ridiculous.
But
think about how ridiculous that is. Joseph, I got 2 points
sorry,
here.
Derek,
that is ridiculous. That to have that many weapons of mass destruction is just ridiculous. Where are you going to use them all? And don't they wear out? And what do you do with them when they wear out? When the expiry date goes on this stuff, is that why they used up all these cruise missiles on probably a dead target? They just wasted about $1 billion, isn't it now?
Actually, it's something like it's like closer to 2 million or less than 2 million for each time they use each cruise missile.
Yeah,
Each,
I thought it was $1.5 million per cruise missile. I think it's about almost $1 billion that they 59 missiles. I think it's about $1 billion that they wasted on a dead target that was probably already abandoned. That's what I suspect.
Right. And let me emphasize, if I may, guys. Remember those figures I was telling you about from Plowshares is their name, Plowshares, and of course you can get it from United Nations and of course the official federal governments. You know, there are various ways you can read about this, and the numbers will fluctuate depending on which source that you read. But generally speaking, it's something like 9,000 to 10,000 nukes that Russia has, and we have just slightly under that.
How many people?
Just those two nations.
How many?
That's just those two nations.
Okay, let's get a vote here. Let's get a vote here. How many people vote that they think it's a dead target that they hit? Do you think there was anyone there, or that was just a setup and an abandoned airport?
I
don't think it was an abandoned airport.
I wouldn't be surprised with this administration. That would be something they would do. If you're willing to lie about saying that Obama was not born in the United States and all these alternative facts and everything, you set the standards that we cannot trust you, that you're going to lie about everything. And I get that you don't want to broadcast everything, but when you start just habitually lying to even just about bare facts, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. But even if it were a live target, it's in the end it's still just an airfield. It's not like he took out their manufacturing plant or something like that. You guys remember hearing about Stuxnet a few years ago? You guys know what that is?
Okay, so I was told my math is sketchy. Yeah, so it would be like 59 or 100 million for the missiles, somewhere around there.
Okay. All right, yeah, because it's actually one or two of them fell into the sea. It didn't work, and so they had to launch like one or two more to make up for that. Stuxnet was okay. Iran a few years ago, they had centrifuges. That's what you use to separate materials to make nuclear energy. You can use it for bombs, or you can use it just for energy. So I'm saying nuclear energy. Okay. Whether or not Iran had the intention of using it for bombs or not, that's a different story. They had centrifuges, thousands of them. The United States, it is well reported, anybody can Google this, the United States, working with the government of Israel, they had actually hacked into the government of Iran, their defense system, whatever it was, and they hacked it, and then they tricked the centrifugal machinery to spin out of control, and it physically broke down their Iran's government's capability of producing nuclear energy. I'm not talking about bombs, just nuclear energy. We did that about 4 or 5 years ago. That is we have that capability. It's not officially acknowledged, but again, you can read about this in several different. It's been around for a few years now. To me, that's a bigger deal, and to me, that's something we could look more into rather than just going out a full-fledged war. Just for what? And here, real quick, I want to make this point, and this is key. And of course, Trump was using the subterfuge of seeing babies dying and foaming at the mouth and all this other stuff, these Syrian babies, and we must attack them because of that. A, you have blocked Syrian babies from coming into this country as refugees. B, does it really matter if it's chemical weapons or if it's barrel bombs from Assad, President al-Assad? Because that's where most of the people are dying from, are from barrel bombs and just basic bombs. But because
who do you think really did that? Do you think he did that? Because Darren, the logic isn't there.
Nope. Maybe they snuck a bomb on one of those planes that was a chemical bomb or something. Maybe they hit a munition on the ground. I can't see him doing that. They've already killed 500,000 people with regular bombs. Why? If you're winning the war, why do that? It's a false flag.
I understand, and let me say this real quick. And I get that because, relatively speaking, it's still transitioning from Obama. And let me say this too, because it drives me nuts when people say this. I gotta say this real quick. Okay. People keep blaming Obama. He wasn't strong enough. He wasn't, nationalistic enough, and da 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 da. Okay. keep in mind, folks, and I remember this wasn't that long ago. He went to Congress to ask for war, for authorization from Congress. They voted against it, just like what in United Kingdom. Basically, and I'm talking about troops. Let me clarify. To send troops into Syria. That's different from air. Now, that's still military action, just the bombing. It was about sending in troops. The UK Parliament voted against it. If you remember the former Prime Minister, I can't believe I forgot his name. But anyway, the last guy who was Prime Minister, I can't believe I forgot his name. Anyway, he wanted to do the same thing as Obama. They in the case of the UK Prime Minister, the UK Parliament voted against sending in troops, and so did Congress on our side of the Atlantic, voted against sending in troops. But now all of a sudden they want to. And had President Obama did exactly what Trump did this past week, that is to say, do military strikes without Congress authorization, trust me, the right-wingers in this country, United States, they would have been talking about, oh, he's a dictator. He's trying to bypass Congress. But it's okay for Trump to act without, congressional authority, without a congressional authorization for war. See, this is the stuff that goes on that drives me nuts that people don't talk about. And they're because the way that in American media, they're even in I'm not even talking about Fox, okay? Just basically, your run-of-the-mill media. Basically, it's almost like they're just being lazy or they don't know what happened with the history of it, as if Obama he was kind of the naval Chamberlain of the 21st century. He was too scared to go strike, al-Assad in Syria. It's like, no, quite frankly, because Obama, and I'm speaking as an African-American who was active and voted for Obama, by the way, I personally think he was afraid of how he would come across as that mean black guy in the White House. So he did not want to do what Trump did because he would automatically be called a dictator because he would have bypassed Congress without getting authorization like Trump just did. There's a lot more moving parts, and just recent history, people need to remind themselves, and I'm being euphemistic when I say remind, because people are conveniently forgetting certain things in history recently. So yeah, I have a lot more. There's a lot more to it than just him dropping Trump sending his planes over to drop missiles onto an airfield, which did not take out the chemical weapons, by the way. But everyone is just cheering him like he did something.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I don't think everyone's cheering at all. I think there's people like us going that's a bummer, man. Like, what the hell? You just wasted all that?
American media, they are.
Now, I want to know, is it really even going on? Are people really getting hurt over there? What's going on, man? Like, is it really children and old people getting choked to death? Or is this all propaganda?
I think it's real, based on, I haven't, I don't have the means to go over there and investigate.
We don't really know. We're looking at pictures on the TV and thinking it's all real. That's the way I look at it now.
Okay. Personally speaking, I would suggest that the reader, because most of us don't have the means to go over and investigate for ourselves, that's why it's good to get a wide variety, and I don't mean Fox News. For me,
how can we do this? I'm just thinking, I'm just brainstorming. How can we do this now?
I'll get it from... To me, CNN's too far to the right.
Let's go on. No. Listen. Let's go on Twitter right now. Right now on this show, let's all three of us go on Twitter and try to find somebody in Syria and ask them what's really going on over there. Everyone in the chat room.
Done that.
Everyone in the chat room.
That little girl who got a lot of attention. I don't remember her name. She's here. I think she's in the United States. She finally got, her and her family finally got out. Now, mind you, a lot because this is social media, so a lot of the postings, those people are coming from Syria, they're going to be posting. It's going to be in Arabic, okay? So, because I've seen a few of them. So
I've got
Arabic or you do the translate.
I've got the Translate app on mine. You can get the Translate app pretty easily. I've got it on mine. So.
Oh, okay. Well, then you just hit the nail on the head. Yeah, I suggest people to read, the established, because the established news, BBC, Mother Jones, even CNN, MSNBC. Stay away from Fox. Stay away from all those right-wing bastards. But I suggest that you just go ahead and just check out social media to kind of counteract some of that with the established media. But established media, we can't write them off totally. I know that, speaking as a lefty, because a lot of us lefties, we do the same thing too. But here's the thing about it. We don't
wait
have
a
the
minute.
means to fly in.
People in Canada don't know what a
we don't have the
lefty is. We think it's the way that your dick goes in your pants, left or right. That's
Okay.
for us. A lefty is, you curve to the left.
But you see what I'm saying? But we have to be able to balance it. And here's another. Democracy Now! Is another good source. Amy Goodman. I have seen her in person. She came here to Lincoln, Nebraska a few years ago. Amy Goodman, Democracy Now! On the radio. Everybody can Google this, and most people probably know her. I suggest you check out these alternative people who also do news like Amy Goodman and whatnot. Again, stay away from right-wingers. Do not give those people any legitimacy.
So they're
That's
righties.
my strong suggestions to people.
People that their junk goes to the right usually are left-handed. And that means you're a politician.
I wouldn't know because I don't look at other people.
Do you know that most politicians are all
just
left-handed?
saying.
You know they're all left-handed? Almost every politician's been left-handed. I wonder if Donald Trump's left-handed.
I don't know.
And it has to do something with leadership quality too, and also
Well, Bob, I know he's right-handed.
the RH negative.
remember-
I believe the RH negative factor goes into it too, if I'm not mistaken. You guys know anything about
There were
that?
several presidents that were left-handed. You are right about that, but I think it's just coincidental. But there could be something, maybe slightly paranoid. I don't believe in, There may be something more to it. You get into a lot of behavioral politics, behavioral social sciences. Certain personalities are attracted to certain jobs because if you're type A, you tend to be more into politics because it takes a lot of push yourself. You got to be pushy, and you got to be So you probably get more into behavioral science. Is probably what that's more about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but apparently, I'm pretty sure about this. Like, I'm gonna Google this. We're gonna take a break here, I think.
So that was our news segment.
Well, I think we may come back to that topic, but for now, let's everyone just try to. We're gonna come back with some different. I think we're gonna talk about Star
Skype keeps
Wars.
dropping out on me. Is it dropping out on you guys a little bit?
No.
What's that?
No.
Okay,
No,
good.
everything's clear for me.
Good. Okay.
What's going on here? Okay. All right. So, we're going to come back. We're going to take a short break here, and if everyone could just go ahead and try to get a hold of somebody, say through social media, in Syria, and at the end of the show,
Yes, let's do this.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can do that, and come back, and maybe later, if anybody comes up with something later, we'll talk about that. Yeah, I was getting a little bit out of hand there. For a Sunday afternoon, that was terrible. Yeah, I apologize, folks. Yeah. What are we going to come up with next here? So you went or you are going to a Star Wars convention?
Both. I went to Anaheim, California, Los Angeles, in 2015 for the Force Awakens. They call them celebrations. Like Comic-Con it's called Celebrations, Star Wars Celebrations. And then I'll be going this week to Orlando, Florida for the Star Wars of Orlando, SWCO, hashtag SWCO. So yeah, so both. I've been to one in the Los Angeles area, and I'm about to go to Orlando. So it'll be my second Star Wars convention.
Yeah.
Yeah, Imperial March.
Here we go. I'll leave you with the Imperial March. We'll be back shortly on Monster Castle Paranormal Sunday afternoon show with less political talk. return. And we're back. Wow, that was groovy, man. I dig that theme. Wow. Okay, let's talk about something different, totally different. Let's talk about the Star Wars conventions.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to talk about, actually.
Sounds good.
I've never been to one.
Did you want me to just...
What's it like?
I was trying to follow your lead. You want me to go? Or?
So, yeah, because I've never been to one. And a lot of people haven't, and we want to know what we're missing. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm sure most of my listeners are.
Awesome. Well, I back in 2015, if you guys remember, The Force Awakens came out, and that's, of course, the most recent movie, 2 years ago at that time, since Revenge of the Sith. So it was huge. It was held in Anaheim, California, Los Angeles area, and it was just crazy. I had never been to any convention up to that point yet. So my initiation into the convention lifestyle was a rude awakening. I mean, there were so many people there. It's like, think of a big football game wherever it is, and some of those football stadiums, like here in Lincoln, Nebraska, ours hold something like 98,000 people. It wasn't quite that big, obviously. That's like a small city within a city, but it was something. It felt like that. It was so huge. They had to organize people into different sections, and I stayed overnight when I arrived in Los Angeles, and then went to Anaheim. I stayed overnight, as well as thousands of other people. And so that way, because we wanted to make it into the main act, if you will, and that was the convention center in Anaheim. They had J.J. Abrams, they had Kathleen Kennedy, producer, J.J. Abrams, of course, being the director. They had Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher. I got a chance to see her before she passed away, so I was very fortunate that way. I got a chance just to see her for like an hour. It was awesome. Anthony Daniels, Peter Mayhew, and the newcomers. They had Daisy Ridley, they had John Boyega, they had Isaac Oscars, Oscar Isaacs. I'm still learning him. He's kind of new to the scene. So I got a chance to see all those people. They were on the stage, but we got a chance to interact. It was awesome. And that's in addition to, the cosplay. And for those who don't know, cosplay is basically costume play. You dress the part of some fandom, whether it's, Star Trek, Star Wars, or Harry Potter, whatever it is. I personally don't do that. That's just not my thing. What I do is I do a lot of Star Wars fan fiction. As a science fiction writer, that's no surprise there. I've got several of them. If you just Google my name, Joseph Moore, Star Wars fan fiction, you'll probably see it. Going to the Star Wars convention, you get a chance to see the actors, the producer, the people behind it. And of course, a bunch of collecting things, and it was just wild. J.J. Abrams, shout out to him. He was so nice enough, and I think maybe Kathleen Kennedy too. They bought like cheese pizza for like those thousands of people. It wasn't thousands of pieces now, but they, just some free pieces to hold us over when we were staying over the night over in the convention center. So that's what I went through the first time 2 years ago. This time it'll be in Orlando, and I take off Wednesday, and it actually starts Thursday. And Friday, Mark Hamill, he's going to have some kind of special, what's the word? I'm not sure what to say. I guess you could say some kind of, not service is probably too strong of a word, but remembrance of Carrie Fisher. That'll be Friday. I think it's in the early evening. So I plan on going to that. It's not like I knew her personally, but growing up as a Star Wars geek, it's literally almost like losing a family member. So I plan on going that. That will definitely be very sober because it'll be the first time that we, the majors, Kenny Baker, the guy who played the original R2-D2. He died, I think, a couple of years ago or so. So she's not the first of the Star Wars family to
Master
died,
Mastaba. Master Mastaba. Okay, I gotta ask you something. I know you're an atheist, right?
Okay.
So what do you? I'm really curious what a person like you would think. What's going to happen to her? Like what happened to Carrie Fisher when she died?
Nothing. It's just non-existence. And the body is left behind. And it's like I was talking to someone recently, and I used to use this analogy all the time. It's not a really good one. When people say you unplug a computer, it goes, well, as we all know, computers, whatever device you use, it actually retains information. So maybe that's not the best analogy to use because some people will see that as an afterlife. It's just, we don't exist anymore. Our consciousness is dead. And the body is still behind. It's just that simple.
We go to the same place we were before we were born.
Which is if you're talking about the consciousness, which is nowhere. Because yes, people don't like to hear this, but we're biological machines, and our consciousness, I don't use the word spirit, I don't use the word soul, I say consciousness, because we're awake, we're sentient beings, we're aware of our surrounding and ourselves, and we feel, and we also have a sense of awareness about ourselves within the universe. Basically, sentience. And that's a bit deeper, because other animals are sentient too, but they don't know their place in the universe. But anyway,
do you believe in the Force?
Well, obviously it's fiction, but it's just fiction. As big of a Star Wars geek as I am, in the end, it's
hey, wait a minute. Some of us believe in the Force, man.
Well, if they do, they're actually in the UK. They actually recognize Jediism is actually recognized as a religion. Believe it or not.
Well, there you go.
In the UK. That was several years, like 10 years ago, I think, close to that, when it was officially recognized as a religion somewhere in the UK. If anyone's listening by podcast and they know more about this than I do, it'd be awesome to hear them either call or to go on social media and let us know if you could. And of course, listeners can Google it themselves, or whatever, research it. I should say research it themselves. It's out there, but yeah, it's a real religion recognized in the UK, but I don't think anywhere else. But I will say this in regard, and it kind of connects with the Star Wars things we're talking about and my atheism. This is what's interesting about what George Lucas did back, with the prequels, The Force Awakens, the Revenge of the Sith and whatnot. Those who've watched Star Wars will know what I'm talking about when I say midi-chlorian.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I think you're gone. Midi-chlorian is the something they find in the blood. And
it makes them use the Force better.
Yeah, if they don't have enough midi-chlorians, then that's how they judge how powerful your Force can be. So
right, exactly. Like, and just as a reference, and it was in the very first prequel, the Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon Jinn and young Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor and I forgot the actor's name who played Qui-Gon Jinn. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. Anyway, yeah. they're on Tatooine, and this is where they first, how we first meet Anakin Skywalker when he's a little child, and they take a sample, or I should say, Qui-Gon Jinn takes a sample of young Anakin Skywalker's blood, and his midichlorians are through the roof. They're even more than Yoda's. So quantity does matter. Well, fans didn't like it because a lot of Star Wars fans, they're kind of I like Star Trek, but not as much as they do Star Wars. It's just a different, Star Trek is kind of more of your typical science fiction, as in hard science, and then you speculate, speculative fiction, science fiction, Gene Roddenberry, and of course you think of, more Arthur C. Clarke, people of that nature. Star Wars, of course, is more like science fantasy. Good versus evil, just more vague things. A lot of the fans did not like the introduction of midichlorians because it sounds too scientific to them. So they just wanted the Force to be this ethereal, this deist almost kind of thing, because a lot of these people who are Star Wars fans, I think a lot of them, they tie in some of their religious faith, spirituality, whatever you want to call it. And even though it's fiction, it's almost like my fellow fans, and I'm talking about like
Liam Neeson. By the way, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson, thank you. Liam Neeson, thank you. Excellent actor. All of them, excellent actor. And I didn't mean any disrespect towards him. I just forgot I'm not the best with names. But anyway, a lot of these Star Wars fans, to them, is like, no, don't make it. It's too scientific. I personally love the introductions of the midichlorians, and maybe this is the atheist in me talking, because I don't believe in spiritual stuff and the afterlife, and I'm into the paranormal, but honestly it's really more for entertainment. But again, I'm not a debunker. I believe in investigating things.
Have you ever tried this experiment where you close your eyes and walk towards a wall and see if you feel that somewhere? You should feel it with your sixth sense.
Actually,
or have somebody walk across the room silently, or just stretch your hand out and point at your forehead while your eyes are closed. You should feel that.
If I may, about the wall, I would suggest that, of course, as you're walking, you're going to make some noise. And whether you're breathing or whether your footsteps on the floor, is going to bounce off and ricochet off the wall. And so it's almost like the bat senses, that's how they're able to, quote unquote, see. It's kind of like that even with humans. If you close your eyes, you walk closer and closer. Well, just the sound of your breathing or your footsteps are going to ricochet off that whatever item or
no,
object
I'm talking
it is.
silently. Okay,
and so
totally silently. No noise. Absolutely no noise. Your friend just stretches his or her arm out towards you, trying not to break the air too much because we don't want air. Just very slowly, and then point at your forehead while your eyes are closed. Then there's no air, there's no sound, there's nothing. You will still feel it. I call it a sixth sense. And you will feel it.
There is energy in the body.
I haven't studied. I understand.
I don't know how it works.
And
I have experienced it. It does work, but I don't know how it works.
Okay.
And maybe it's something to do with electricity and our electromagnetic field. But there is a sixth sense.
Well,
blind people know all about
possible. It's possible. In one of my novels, it's called The Solar Bridge: The Unintended Consequences of Time Travel. I don't, and I just touch upon that just a tiny bit because it was more that was science fiction versus paranormal. So back then, this came out back in 2005. Anyway, one of the things I dealt with was people from the future being genetically altered, where they have more like seven sense, and one of the senses is like they can feel color.
Okay, people can do that actually.
You can touch red, if you will, with your fingers,
This is
without
not
touching an object.
This is not science fiction, man. They've done studies on this. This is real. Some people can feel colors. Blind people can feel colors. They can touch the paper and tell you what color it is.
What do you mean by that? You have to educate me on that. In what sense do they feel color?
This has been documented since the 60s. They've done experiments with it. Blind people just touching a paper, and when they touch red, they can say that's red, and it's proven. There's no explanation for it, but it is proven.
Okay, well, this is one of those cases where I will have.
I forget what you call it, but this is one of the first things I studied way back in the day, man. There's definitely people that can touch colors and tell you what color it is, and they'll say it feels warmer or something.
Like you and I talked about before, Wolfman Mike. I am a skeptic. And that's part of it's the atheism
okay.
in me. That's
I'm gonna Google it right now. I'm gonna see if I can find something.
But with that said, I just want to say, but I'm also not a debunker. If there's part of the scientific method, which I strongly believe in, and secular humanists, generally speaking, we're really big on the scientific method.
Okay, here we go. Here's a topic.
Check it out.
Here's a topic for you. Okay, how come when blind people that have never had sight before in their life, they've never had sight, they can never see since they were a baby, they could never see. How come they can still have dreams with colors and everything in it, and that they explain to people and seeing people the way they and everything? Like, how can they do that?
Well, I have to research. I have read some things about like people who I've actually heard. I can't even remember the details now, but I read about this person who's got sight for the first time in their lives just last year. I think it was a young woman. I just kind of glanced. I kind of read it a bit. I didn't really take that much. It was like, okay, cool. But so I didn't do great research on this, but this is my guess based on biology. There are certain things that human beings that we're born with that it's almost like when you have a car, you have certain options, and some people they don't select or they don't have certain things built in, like an extra switch for let's say for a sunroof or a moonroof, and you just see like this little pan on your panel or your dashboard. You see like this rectangular shape, but there's nothing there. Well, unless you utilize the options method and you make a special order, or that's perhaps part of the order of a car, then they can make the car to have a sunroof. That's the closest thing I can think of, because I would have to do research on myself. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to just believe that, oh, there's some mystical reason for. There's always a logical explanation to things. We just don't know what it is yet.
Okay,
and
how do you explain? Okay, go ahead, Darren, and then I got one.
I know a little bit about this. Blind people don't really have dreams about what they experience in their world. So they don't really see things like we do. They experience it in their dream. It's different. And did you guys know that when people get their sight back, the suicide rate for those people is like 30%? It's really, really difficult for anybody to get their sight back. It just is exhausting. And they don't really... their brains didn't develop at a young age. Have you read the book Crashing Through?
No, I have not.
It was a skier that had the world record in speed skiing, and he was blind, and he got his sight back. And he talks about seeing his wife for the first time and not even knowing it was her, and just how difficult and absolutely exhausting it is for the brain to have never seen, to have to learn what things are. You'd have to touch everything to know what it is. It's a fascinating read. It's one of my favorite books of all time. If anyone has a chance to read it.
No, I was not aware of that. That's very interesting, and that's an example of what I mean by when you and I talked last time on the air. Wolfram and Mike. And thank you, Darren. That's an excellent example. To me, that would fall under. That's just that makes sense. That's logical, to be honest with you.
I've got,
but it's not the same as supernatural. You know,
I've got the explanation here. Here it is.
Okay.
A blind person can feel the thermal energy deposited by light, and so can be convinced that light exists and carries energy. Then it is just a matter of description of what light is and its properties. I'm afraid that for a blind man, this may remain abstract and unverifiable, and he may just have to take his friend's word for it. But you can give a blind man a device that senses light and emits. Okay, wait a minute.
Have you seen those blind people that use clicks just like bats, and they can ride bikes and everything else if they do it from the time they're young?
No, I personally have not seen that.
Yeah, there was a kid that would click all the time. He'd just make clicking sounds all the time, and he would just
you
just
mean
fine.
Like with his mouth or something, or
yes. He can even ride a bike.
That makes sense.
It wasn't the article I was looking for, but it's.
That's cool. But no. There's always some, but anyway, that's with the midichlorians things, with the Star Wars things, that ties in with a lot of people. Most people are, and I do basically lectures or presentations, whatever you want to call them, at university. I won't say the name, just to make sure some controversy or something doesn't come up. There's a local, a regional university. I do lectures as an atheist. I do it like 2 or 3 times a year. I used to do it with the secular humanist organization. I helped co-found it.
Yeah, let's.
But anyway,
wait a minute. Back up. Wait a minute.
Okay.
Joseph, you got to explain to everyone what a secular humanist is.
Okay. Let me finish this first, and then I'll do that real quick, if that's okay.
Right.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Let me say this. I'll finish this, and then I'll explain what secular humanist is, as opposed to what an atheist is. Anyway, one of the things it's my business to know about demographics. Most people are very much religious, and United States atheists, people. Now, they're different. You can go to adherence.com. You can go to United Nations. You can go to something survey. It's something religious survey or something. There are different sources you can get your information from. But it seems like between all these different sources, atheists in the United States specifically, we only make up about 5% of the population of a nation of about 330 million. So that's very small. So a lot of people, most people are just simply, if not religious, they're very spiritual. Unfortunately, from my perspective as an atheist, that's not going to change anytime soon. I'm very disappointed in the human race, to be honest with you guys, in that we just cannot let go of a lot of the stuff that our ancient ancestors. I can understand why astrology was around, okay, and eventually became astronomy, and because our ancestors didn't know better. They didn't have the knowledge, and they didn't have the tools of science that we have today. I get that, okay, but when 2017, and we're still talking about, anyway, people are going to believe what they want to believe, okay? Now, okay, this is what, on my Twitter feed, I got 2 Twitter feeds. I have one that's just Joseph Moore, my name, Joseph Moore, Joseth, and then Moore. I do that. I hardly do. I just put up a bunch of stuff about my ebooks and my novels, and I tweet other people's scientific or science fiction or science related stuff.
Science.
I leave
she
that
can
alone.
also taste them and hear them and smell them. The 20-year-old junior at the University of Maine has synesthesia, a rare neurological condition in which 2 or more of the senses entwine. Numbers and letters, sensations and emotions, days and months are all associated with colors for Carrie.
Okay, this is another. Right. That is not the exact one, but these kids can smell and taste colors.
Okay. All right. Let me finish this up real quick for you, and then we'll go on that tangent. Let me finish this real quick. I know I'm going along. That's the unfortunate side effects of education. You learn a lot, so you tend to speak a lot. So I'll try to keep it a little bit shorter. Atheists are just basically people who do not believe in the notion of any gods at all. Okay. The reason why I say it that way, because most people, when you say, I don't believe in God, because, of course, we're in a society, a Western society that's mostly Christian, we're used to talking about the monotheistic notion of a God. Well, of course, there are thousands, like 4,000 religions on the earth. There are several pantheistic religions. So I say gods, not just the Christian gods, not just the Muslim gods, not just the Judeo-Jewish gods, gods in general. We just don't believe in the existence of any gods, okay? That's what an atheist is. Secular humanists, I'm not going to go into like where the Latin phrase came and all this other stuff, but basically it's like separation of church and state. Secular means of this tangible world. Secular. If you take your dollar, this is not just the United States. So if anybody besides the United States, whoever has an American dollar bill, the $1 bill, flip that on the back. Look at the seal of the Great Seal of the United States. You'll see the pyramid with the floating eye. I believe it says something about secular, New World Order and all this other stuff. That's where you can see the word secular. That just means of this tangible world. New World Order is what that basically says in the dollar bill. Secular humanism. Now, humanism, and this actually goes, and again, I'm not going to go on too long, basically this goes back to the European times of the Renaissance. That is because of humanists from Europe during the Renaissance era. That is why we have astronomy. Sorry, that is why we have biology and chemistry, and why we have satellites. Because a lot of such as Galileo and Copernicus and Kepler and there are all these other people that we've forgotten or don't know about back in the European times, because it was dangerous to not believe in some notion of God. Well, I'll say God back then, or not to be in the church. Galileo is a good prime example of that. And so a lot of these people, they actually have to be careful talking about science. The sun being the center of the solar system. Well, because in the Bible you think that's where the humanism comes in, and secular humanism. It's just of this tangible world. And not that it's against religion, it's just neutral to the issue of religion. That's why those who follow American politics, that's why you hear such a stink that we're going through about this separation of church and state, the transgender versus, all this other stuff. And because if we had secularism throughout this whole world, trust me, we would not have the problem in the Middle East we do today, because a lot of these people try to have theocratical societies where they try to force other people to live like them in their religious viewpoints.
Well,
that's why it's good.
We're going to break, Joseph. We're going to break, buddy. Save your thought. Yeah, all right.
Oh, thank you.
Sunday afternoon.
Awesome, thank you.
Groovy. It's groovy with the Wolfman. Sunday afternoon, all right. Can you dig it? KTLK, thefringe.fm. We'll be back with this secular humanist in a few minutes here. Okay, and we're back on. All right. Everybody who would like to raise your midichlorian level, we have a new drink for you. It's called midichlorian ale. And Wolfman Mike is going to be producing some midichlorian ale and put it on the market very soon for everyone that wants to raise your midichlorian level. Just drink a lot of this beer, and you will raise your midichlorian levels. All right, midichlorian ale / Wolfman Mike / monstercastleparanormal.com. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I'd buy that.
Midichlorian ale. You can't get it anywhere else.
I would be drinking.
Only available on the KTLK network, thefringe.fm. Midichlorian ale, all right.
That was awesome. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wolfman, you failed to surprise me. That was perfect. You can use that later as a drop.
Yep. I was thinking the same thing. I just did a live drop there.
Oh, we're still off air?
No, we're live. I just did a live drop on the air.
It's hard to tell. Sorry. It's hard to tell.
All right.
Well, what's up, guys?
We're thinking atheist.
And I will breathe. I will give more breaks so you guys can come in more.
Okay. You must have some questions, Darren.
I do. I was wondering, is there anything that is good about religions, do you believe?
When you leave it.
Okay. What was your model of?
Well,
I'm
sorry, guys. I'm not going to counterbalance what I believe just to make people feel. There's nothing good about religion, in my personal opinion. Yes, there are people who do good things, who are religious. They have the motivation because they read in the Bible, be good to each other, or whatever book. They some golden rule out of whatever they read. But that's because they've read, which is a good notion, but they've done it on their own. And there are a lot of people, such as myself, who are atheist, or maybe perhaps they're deist, which is still spiritual, which is not atheist. We do good too, but we don't go around broadcasting it, and then we don't stick some kind of symbol with it, and then have some congregation. And you can do good just being an atheist, and you can still do good even as a Christian or whatever religion you're in. There's nothing good about religion per se, but there's nothing really bad about it either per se. And in the end, it's just like what you hear about the political arguments throughout the world now. Well, I read, the truth is in the Bible, especially in the Old Testament, if homosexuals were supposed to be stoned, correct? I think. Am I correct? Stoned.
I don't know about that. I'm not going to agree or disagree.
You were not supposed to tolerate homosexuals. For sure.
I'd like to see that in the Bible to believe that. I don't know about that one.
No. I grew. I used to be a deacon in my father's church.
Okay.
I read the Bible a lot. That's one of the things. There are a lot of people you're supposed to stone from adulteress, and notice this adulteress, the woman.
Stoning is a terrible way of death, man. It's brutal.
But so what I'm doing is answering the question here. So what I'm saying is, now that's in the Bible or in the Torah. So now, is that inherently bad as a religion, or is it because people choose to interpret something they read in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or whatever other literature?
Can you
and they
imagine?
Choose to act on it in such a way.
It
depends on the people.
Think about this. Can you imagine trying to govern a people that are willing to throw stones at their children and bludgeon them to death? The community gathering around and actually throwing stones at this one person, and all in fury, and just killing the person, and then walking away and thinking they did something for God.
Did you guys hear about the gay couple in Thailand last week? There's like a 24-year-old and a 21-year-old that were having a relationship, and they had to have 100 lashes of the cane.
Yeah, well, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that the people back then had a different moral code than we do now. So,
and they weren't very educated about
the Bible back then was written for people with that mentality. Now, we don't stone people anymore, so.
Joseph, what would your model of the perfect world be? Like, if 95% of people believed what you did, how would you see the world at that point? How do you think it would be?
Well, and I understand you're just being hypothetical. To me, the quote-unquote perfect world would be, you would think I would say everyone is an atheist. So that could be one of them. But in the perfect world, people would accept us, atheists, for who we are and not have to have laws where you cannot be in office in the White House. You couldn't even be in the White House. You couldn't be in Congress as an atheist.
What?
I think some.
Are you serious?
I think they've changed some of that more recently. I'm no expert on, but I heard or read about that. But the perfect world would be.
Yeah, how are we going to get you to swear on the Bible?
Atheists are accepted
that's right.
amongst religious people, but also we just live in unison. I mean, I don't want religion. Okay, my wife is Christian. Everyone, okay. So obviously, and we've been married for over 6.5 years, close to 7 now. So obviously, I don't hate Christians. Okay, the perfect world, quote unquote, would be if everyone, including atheists, with religious people and other faiths, we just live together. It doesn't mean that you guys have to become atheists like me for it to be a perfect world. I said that, to me, there's something wrong with me.
No,
but I'm accepting
I think
of people
you're right.
with the religion.
So
I would like with it.
I would like to just imagine a world, you know, a humanistic world where we take care of each other, but you know, there is no religion. You know, what would that be like?
Well, it's you. Okay, here's a practical example of what it could be like. Stem cell research. I remember reading this like I guess close to 20 years, well, actually over 20 years ago now. I remember when stem cell research really started to blast off 20-something years ago. And remember the guy who cloned Dolly the sheep? I believe he was Scottish, I think, if I remember correctly. It's been years since I read about it. But anyway, well, he had to leave the United States and other people to conduct stem cell research. And that's because a lot of, and I really need to do a better job of researching some of the, but I didn't expect to talk about this stuff, to be honest with you, because I read about it years ago and talked about it. I'd forgotten all about it. But because of so many religious objections, because it's the thing about abortions, because there's this, people think that people are aborting fetuses so they can do stem cell research. Now, as I understand, if I remember correctly, some of the research was from discarded embryos or fetus during abortions, but it wasn't that they went around and killed I'll use the word aborted fetuses or embryos in order to do a stem cell research. That's not why. But because of the religious objections, a lot of scientists who were in the field of stem cell research, they had to, frankly, most of them went to Europe. And because of the now there's 20 years later, there is a lot of more advances in stem cell research. And when that basically a cell can become, long story short, a cell starts off with a clean slate. If you give it the right message, if you will, that cell can turn into an ear when you form as from the embryo to fetus. Or it can form into a nose. It can, your eyes. There are certain DNA, cells that are formed for certain parts of the bodies, of the organ that make human beings. And
that mouse that had an ear that grew on its back.
Right. But the advances, that could help with a lot of our people with our medical advances, but we're stymieing ourselves because of a lot of religious objections. And that's okay that people don't want to. If they don't want a blood transfusion because they're Jehovah's Witness, I'm okay with that. But making laws to reflect your personal religious belief, that actually, I think we talked about this the last time I was on, Mike, Wolfman Mike. It's called It's called the Establishment Clause, for the United States, where Congress shall not establish a religion. That's the first part of that clause.
Oh, but you have to swear. Wait a minute. You can't establish oh, wait a minute. But you got to swear on the Bible when you're in court. Does that make any sense?
Bingo.
Does that make any sense at all?
You hit the nail on the head. The first part of the clause is A and B. Part A, Congress shall make no establishment of religion, comma, or whatever. And then there's the other half of it. A lot of people take.
Well, it's contradictory.
And nor should Congress infringe upon people to practice their religion. That's a paraphrase.
Okay,
so in other words,
but yet you have to swear on a Bible when you go to court. How does that make any sense at all? That's totally contradictory, and what they're really saying is something else. Because when you go to court, you got to swear on a Bible, and that's the Bible of Christian Bible. So no matter what religion you are, they put this thing in front of you and make you put your hand on it and swear on it.
Exactly, and that not only that, but in the U.S. Congress, which I've been to the U.S. Capitol, by the way, and I did some lobbying for environmental situations.
It's hypocritical. That's what I'm trying to say. It's hypocritical.
They've been opening up for prayer. Besides Christians, they've been more ecumenical, however you pronounce that, where it's different religions. But the point is, that's where a lot of us secularists, that's why you hear a lot of us complaining, because it's in the Constitution, which these conservatives love to talk about. They love the Constitution. But I remember when Ted Cruz was running for president, I heard him actually say it was a myth of the separation of church and state. That's interesting. He's a really smart man, as much as I disagree with him, and I can't stand his politics. He is smart. He knows better, because it is in the Establishment Clause. Congress should not establish a religion, but nor shall it infringe upon people who do practice it. And that's why a lot of us do have objections when they do the swearing in on it's not just the Christian. And real quick, I said this before the last time I was on, I'm going to say it again. And I do mean Christians, fundamentalist Christians, a lot of them think, when they hear the word atheist, those who know what it is, because a lot of them don't, I'm learning, they automatically think, oh, that's just code word for I'm not Christian. And everything else is out the door. There was someone I met from New York. Well, she's just outside New York City, one of the boroughs. I won't say where. She was a guest over at my wife and our house. We were chatting. And I told her that I was an atheist. And she was like, oh, you believe in many gods. I was like, no, that's pantheism.
Can I say something?
Again,
hi, Kurt.
I know,
how you doing, buddy?
I'm a lecturer, guys. I can go on and,
Okay, Kurt Green here. From everyone, welcome, Kurt Green.
How do you do?
But a lot
What's
of people don't know.
His name is Joseph. Not
Hello,
Joseph.
Joseph.
It's a TH, so Joseph. And,
Joseph.
Yeah,
okay, cool.
So welcome, Kurt Green, everyone.
Welcome. I was thinking about Jehovah's Witness. You know what? In the end, if you think about I don't want anybody else's blood in me either. Now, if you think about it, they have that right. But now, if a child has like appendicitis, they'll pray over him and let him die. Now that's wrong. So the authorities should step in then. But I think they had something right. I don't want to have anybody else's blood. If you need, you can go ahead of time and then have your own blood drawn, a week ahead of surgery. But I wouldn't want Wolfman's blood in me, no.
Oh, yeah, you would. You gonna get fire in your veins, buddy. Oh,
we get drunk immediately.
It's going to be fire and electricity. You won't even imagine what's going to happen to you then. You get the DNA of the Anunnaki, man. The DNA of the Anunnaki. Oh, yeah.
I reject that in Jesus' name right now.
You're gonna become a Nephilim. A Nephilim. You will.
No, but
I already
really,
think you
think about it. We all have our own blood.
How tall are you, Kurt? How tall are you?
6'2".
That's what I figured. You're a pretty tall guy. You got Nephilim blood.
Oh, short. How tall are you? Like what? 5 foot? 5 foot? What?
You may want to
Kurt's got
explain what that is.
Nephilim blood,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, brother.
He is one of them. Is your head shaped kind of conical?
Can I ask Kurt something?
Yeah.
You still there, Kurt? Curtis. I'm sorry, Curtis. You still there, Curtis?
Yeah, Kurt.
You still there?
Kurt, are you there? What's going on here?
No, I was going to ask him what religion because I never
went
asked
on
him
mute.
before.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he wants to ask you a question.
Okay, sure.
What religion and or denomination are you, if you don't mind me asking, Curtis? And if you don't want to say it on, I understand. That's since we're
I
in
don't
a
care.
discussion about it.
On my show, you heard me tell I'm one-on-one. It's a personal relationship with Christ. Me and him, one-on-one. He and I. But I was brought up First Southern Baptist when I was growing up. But I experienced all the holy rolling and tongue talking, and I went to Catholic church, Baptist church. I've been to the Presbyterian. I've done all of them, but I'm nothing now. Just he and I. That's what I do now. He and
I. Fair enough.
I need help with
I was just curious where you're coming from. The rolling, I understand. I was raised Pentecostal. I'm atheist now, but I know what it is to be a believer.
No.
You know, the speaking in tongues and all that. What's that?
Oh, you're atheist?
Have you been listening to the show, Curtis?
No, I just got on a little while ago.
All right. Well, that's what we're talking about.
I thought you heard me last time I was on. I thought you heard that I was an atheist.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. Well, you don't believe there's
no big deal.
You don't believe in our Creator? Nothing?
I don't believe in the concept of any gods, period.
Wow.
Gods, plural. Not just your Christian God, Curtis.
There aren't gods. There's just one God. There's no gods.
Well, that's what you believe, okay. But anyway, yeah. So that I wanted to ask you. Thank you for answering that, Curtis. I was just curious.
Okay. Well,
Joseph.
I had to take care of my doggy.
Do you think we're just afraid not to believe?
Could you say that again, please, Darren?
Are we just afraid not to believe?
Yes, I said what I personally believe. Personally speaking, if I may, first I'll speak from my personal perspective. I won't go on too long. When I was a believer, Pentecostal, I basically was, by the time I was 34, around the year 2004, I was pretty much an atheist by then. So I really haven't been an atheist all that long, really, technically speaking, more like 13 years. But I know that some people, when I talk to, it's almost like, I forgot there's a phrase that a lot of atheists, when we talk about you guys, it's almost like insurance claim that a lot of believers, and I don't mean just Christians, but any religion, but in particular the three largest ones. Well, not largest, because I should say, Islam and Christianity. It seems like a lot of people, they question if there really is an afterlife and therefore a God. And some people they're not really exactly convinced, but they're afraid for two reasons. A, because they're afraid that, well, if there is no God, as they would say, if there's no God and no afterlife, well, then that means I just go basically to oblivion and there's nothing after this. That is horrific to think about, but it is death. And so I think some people get scared about that. The second part why I think they kind of, like you said, Darren, more or less scare themselves into their beliefs or their religion is, of course, societal. Going to church or going to temple or going to whatever. I remember I was born Christian, so I know how it works. A lot of people, they go for social reasons. They don't want to be shut out of their families, which didn't quite happen with me when I became an atheist, but I was definitely put on the back burner, so to speak. But my family treats me well. They're still Pentecostal. We disagree, and we just learn to not talk about certain things, and every now and then a big argument erupts, but then we move on. But yeah, you're right, Darren. I do believe that some people, they suspect that there is no afterlife and there aren't any gods, but they're afraid to face from my perspective as an atheist, the reality there aren't any gods or afterlife, and it's too hard for them to deal with, so they kind of just believe anyway. And of course, the societal part of it is they don't want to be shut out of their families. They don't want to be shut out of jobs. because I've known atheists who've lost their jobs because of it.
And then
so,
you could take it one step further,
you're onto something.
And other people are terrified of going to hell.
Okay, we got a question.
Like for eternity.
We got a question for you, Darren, from the chat room. What is your opinion on Scientology?
I don't like Scientology, really. I have some cousins that were in it. There's parts of it I kind of like.
Okay.
I like the fact that
keyword for drinking is what tonight also?
this afternoon?
You have to name that as well as your answer for the question.
Why don't we do religion?
I think that's a good one.
Anytime we're talking about religion the whole time. Okay, as
if
soon
you
as
had
you
to
say
pick a favorite religion, which
whenever we say religion,
would you pick, Joseph?
Oh my God!
If you had to have one, what would be your favorite?
Darren, before I answer that, can I ask you why that you specifically don't like Scientology? If you don't feel comfortable talking about it, I understand. I'm just curious why specifically Scientology.
I have something to say.
I saw that documentary about Scientology where they record everybody and then they kind of use it against them. I don't know if that's true, but that's the part I didn't like. I do like the part where they can take a beating and not let it affect them, you know?
You know what's weird?
You can only control yourself. I like that part.
What's weird is that Stabby seems to be...
Hold on, I have to go outside real quick here, guys. I have to go outside.
Okay.
Okay, and it's break time. It's break time anyway, man. It is break time.
I'm outside. Go ahead. Sorry.
It is break time anyways. It is break time. So, anyway, I find it really strange that Stabby's reading my mind because I was going to put a reggae song on and he made a comment with a Jamaican accent in the chat room. This is crazy. And this is the second time it's happened tonight, and it seems like he's reading my mind. I don't get it. How's he doing that? Barrington Levy. Hypocrites, baby.
If I cook dumpling, John Tom gone tell me speak. They always think of me and I don't see them. But one thing more I've got to control. Excuse me while I smoke my spliff. So you see you got a little time to sniff. All I have got is good sensey love to give you, baby. It's just that all I see. I know who else was and me. So many watchy and peeping at me. All I have seen, so many hypocrites. Everyone should show the way. No man should never watch my business. You shouldn't do the things to me to see, yeah. I know I meant to understand the earth.
Yeah, oh man, far out. Okay, what's really far out is that okay, I was looking at the songs by Barrington Levy. I saw one called Sensimelia, and I was thinking, oh right, yeah, spark it up, man. And that was the thought in my head. Just when I had that thought in my head, in the chat room, Stabby McHugs writes the exact words in the chat room that I was thinking. I'm not even kidding. I'm going back on it, something about sparking it up.
Can I say something?
That's weird. I just found that really, really weird. And yeah, there was another word before that. Yeah, I know what's going on here, man. Yeah, here it is. Spark it up, man. Like, with an extended man, like a Jamaican accent, possibly. Like, just exactly what I was thinking. And then he wow. I'm not making this up, guys. That's freaking me out. I wouldn't even said anything about sparking
I believe you.
Oh my lord!
That's just too much synchronicity there, man. That's freaky.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
To the your atheist guest, brother.
Yes.
You know, if I did not know my God as I do, and I didn't know a thing, and I would turn the TV on. Now let me finish and don't interrupt. And see the craziness on TV and begging for money and all these, and they all have 8 mansions. And I hear about Jim Jones back in the old day, kill 1,000 people drinking cyanide, and I see the, you know what I mean, Muslims doing what they do, and I see, I wouldn't want to believe in God either, so I understand.
No, that's not why, though.
Well, I'm just saying that's where I'm coming from. I see all the craziness. There's like 30, there's like 1,000 denominations, and they all fight against one another and believe different. I've been to a Pentecostal church where the whole preaching been on putting down the Baptist.
Do they ever have fist fights, Kurt? You ever seen a fist fight?
In the old days, my grandma said, in the old days, the Baptists and the Methodists would go out in the barn and argue, and they'd get angry and leave angry.
Did they ever beat each other up?
No.
Shut
up. Probably. Well, it eventually got. What was that? Zombie Land? Remember Zombie Land, where it got so bad that's what happened. It may get that way. I don't know, but if I didn't know God and I saw what I see on TV and 30 denominations and people killing people, hitting people over the head, you got to go up to the front of the church and get hit over the head and then they use rattlesnakes in some churches.
Well, it's interesting that you say that, Curtis, because part of my lecture I do at that university.
I don't want to know.
It's called behavior. I call it behavioral atheism. What I mean by that is what you just said, Curtis, and that's a good example. Some people say they're atheists when they experience bad things in their lives. They lose loved ones or something really bad. They lose a job after they prayed and God
they get hit in the head.
And then they get mad. And I'm not going to go to church, and cause I'm telling you from experience, from people that I talk with, and they say, I'm an atheist. I stopped going to church, but that's not atheism. That's because it's understandable that some people get upset and then they question their faith. That's just questioning your faith, or you're mad at what you perceive as a God. In my case, for me personally,